All right, hello. How you doing this morning? I just want to show you a few things within Adobe Audition. I hope you're enjoying the snow. Looks like the sun is trying to come back out. Not sure how long this is going to last, but this was actually way more dramatic a few moments ago. Right? So let me pull this up. So hopefully you can see this. All right, so what I have here going on is this is like one of our samples here. I've imported it. You can import here by hitting this as it says import, or you can go to File and go to Import and go to File again, and it should pull up your browser. And you can kind of go through and find whatever sounds you were looking for. All right, so once we have our stuff imported over here in this window here, all the stuff that you can import will populate over here in this particular window. All right, so we have our sound here. This is our loop. So say we already, like in class, we already chopped up or looped our music that we wanted to sample. All right, so now we have our loop. We chopped it up, right, like we did in class. And so now we want to add some elements to it. So we want to go to New and create a multi-track section. And you want to name that, and whatever it is, maybe I would say probably name it whatever sample that you use. So whatever name of the group is, right? So I'm just going to name an example. And then we have our multi-track section over here. So what we want to do is we want to try to get our drums and our loop in sync. And so since we're using 4 bars of music and within a 4/4 structure, they should technically line up unless there's some extra noises happening that are distracting. If there's already pre-existing drums within the sample, sometimes they can be distracting. But for this particular case, I don't think we have too many distractions in that. So see, which sample did we? I think we use, no, it's not the right one. All right, so it's our loop 7 for mine. So it's pretty open. We don't have any percussion or pre-existing drums kind of like gonna be distracting from us throwing some drums on top of this. All right, and so you can see here, you want to go to, so we want to go to effects, and we want to go to time and pitch, and then go to stretch and pitch process. And so once we hit that, we can see here it says current duration is 10 seconds and some change, and then it's new duration here. It's kind of already done it because of the remix process, but don't worry about that. What we want to make sure is that whatever number this is linked up to whatever our drums are that we pull in, right? So let's say we want to make our duration, let's make it 11 seconds. So let's delete this here, put 11 in, and then go to apply. And now we're in our waveform section. And so our loop that we have now, it is 11 seconds long. So now let's go find our drums. And so let's say, I will show you how to chop up some drums in class, but let's say that we already have our drums looped up properly within a time structure, right? And so let's select that within the waveform, double click. All right, so these are our drums here. Okay, and so we want to go to effects, time and pitch, and excuse me, time and pitch, right? And then go to stretch and pitch process and click on that. And so we see our duration, it says it's 10 seconds and some change. So let's make sure that this is at 11 seconds, like our loop, and 11, and then go to apply. All right, so now I call it FY drum loop 2, which is, but you know, it's whatever you name it. So let's go back to our multi-track, and let's actually delete this out of there. And let's go to our loop, right? So a loop that's 11 seconds. You can also see the duration here is indicated within this section here. So this is our 11-second loop. So yeah, we drop that in. And then now let's find our drums that we just retimed for 11 seconds, and our drums here. And let's drop that in as track underneath it. All right. And so now technically, if you want it to loop when you do playback, make sure that this is selected here where it says loop playback. And so let's just click here, and it should be synced up. Okay, I think that's a little slow. So maybe let's delete all that, and let's maybe take our time. Let's change our drums back. Click on it twice, and then pull up in the waveform tab, away from your multi-track tab. Excuse me. And so let's retime that. Let's go to effects, time, pitch, and then go to stretch and pitch. And let's change that duration time to, let's say, about 10 and then 0.5 or something like that. All right. And so now let's go to our loop here. And then let's change that to the same time. So time, pitch, stretch and pitch. And then let's make that 10.5. All right, so now we have that. Let's go back to our multi-track, and then let's drop those back in. So we got our loop, which right here is 10. And then let's go and drop in our drums that we just retimed right here. And let's drop that in, and then all right, so I hope that was clear. So in class, we will spend a lot of time kind of going back over these techniques. There's one more thing I potentially could show you, and that is kind of about, let's say we wanted to extend these loops here, right? So we want to expand both of these. So you can kind of select these, click and drag and select both of those. You could do up here, go to edit, and then go down to copy, and then take your cursor and kind of slide it towards the end. Make sure that you have the magnetic toggle snapping on, so it'll be highlighted blue. It's white when it's not selected. And so this enables you to be able to snap things within the timeline really easily. So now that we have those copied, and then go to paste. Go to file, go to edit, and then go down to paste. And it should paste it right where the cursor is laying. So with the snapping on, it should allow you to be able to kind of like lay that cursor. It should snap in that position right at the end of that particular first loop that you have situated in your track 1 and track 2. So now we play back. So it's playing. All right, and so you can just continue to keep doing that. Also, a little bit with like your volume here that's happening. This section here is where you can control your volume. It's like I showed you in class, and also here is like your panning. So let's say for this one we wanted to pan our main sample here. So it's going to be based upon which ones you select. I think you can have both of them selected at the same time. Maybe, yeah. So kind of click and drag, select both. Your pan here. So let's say we want to pan this particular sound all the way to the left. It's not always to the left, but you can see this little nodule here. It'll move over. And so let's say we want to do the same for our drums, but we want to move it to the opposite direction. So we want to pan it over to the right some. You may not be able to kind of like understand or distinguish what's happening maybe over this, but if you were to have headphones on, maybe you'd hear it. Okay, so this is kind of some real time to kind of show you what those functions kind of do, the volume and also like the pan, so panning from left to right in stereo field. All right, so the last thing you want to do is once you have your stuff looped up, you want to go to file and go to save as, and then here's where your file name, your name, whatever you want to name your project. I would suggest you name it something that's related to the samples that you're using, maybe the artist that you're sampling, and then wherever you want to locate it on your computer, then just hit OK, and then it should save it. All right. So I will see you in class next week, hopefully. All right. Bye.